What's going on, guys? It's Greg here, aka NYPrepper. It is Saturday, September 9th, 2023, and I have an emergency alert to share with you guys. We have some very concerning footage coming out of China, and what you're looking at here are Chinese army tanks being moved to a port that is very close to Taiwan, and the name of this port is Fuzhou, and that's spelled Fuzhou. And apparently, this port is the closest port to Taiwan in China. And you can see a bunch of these Chinese army tanks coming in on rail to this port. Okay, so this is very concerning. I'm not sure why they're being moved to that port. What their plans are, I have no idea. But when I saw this, I had to make a video and warn you guys. Also, we have some major breaking news coming from the U.S. Apparently, the U.S. is planning on announcing soon that they're going to be giving Ukraine the long-range Atacms missiles for the HIMARS, and the Atacms missiles can hit targets up to 200 miles away. And we also have some major breaking news that Iran has moved troops to the Armenia-Azerbaijan border. So that whole situation with Armenia and Azerbaijan is not looking good at the moment. There's been video footage coming out over the past few days showing massive convoys in Azerbaijan moving towards Armenia with war markings on them. Okay, anytime you see war paint on military vehicles, that's a bad sign. Okay, and from what I understand is that in Azerbaijan, the war markings were an upside down A, and I guess the A represents Armenia, but that's what the war markings were. But the fact that Iran is now moving troops to the border there means that they're expecting some kind of instability. And we also have some concerning information about Hurricane Lee. Hurricane Lee is forecasted to make a turn to the north, and it could make some kind of direct hit possibly on the Northeast and New England. Okay, it's still way too early to tell exactly where Hurricane Lee is going to make landfall, but it's looking like it's going to landfall somewhere near Cape Cod. Okay, so if you live from New Jersey to Maine, you need to be on high alert, and you need to start thinking about your hurricane preps and your hurricane survival plan now, because you have time. It's still very far away, and it's moving slow. So start thinking about your hurricane survival plan. Let me just read to you guys this article from ABC News about the Atacms missiles going to Ukraine. So this was confirmed by a U.S. official speaking to ABC News. The Biden administration is likely to send Ukraine the long-range Army Tactical Missile Systems, or Atacms, to help in its fight to repel the Russian invasion of its territory, according to U.S. officials. They are coming, said one official who had access to security assistance plans. The official noted that, as always, such plans are subject to change until officially announced. A second official said the missiles are on the table and likely to be included in an upcoming security assistance package, adding that a final decision has not yet been made. It could be months before Ukraine receives the missiles, according to the official. Okay, so these missiles have a 200-mile range, and they can use all different types of warheads. So this would be a major game changer for Ukraine, and it would also cause escalation in the region. Okay, we're already seeing escalation on a massive scale in recent weeks between the US and Russia and between NATO and Russia. If you guys have been watching me over the past few weeks, the US moved 3 stealth bombers to Iceland about a month and a half ago. And one of those stealth bombers landed in Norway and did a hot pit refueling exercise in Norway, landing in Norway for the first time ever. We're also hearing that the US is going to be moving as many as 50 F 35s to the UK, and that the UK is going to start hosting American nuclear weapons again, like they did in the Cold War. So that's a huge step up in the escalation ladder. Uh, and Russia's not happy about that, obviously. 50 F 35s in the UK plus, B-61 bombs being stored there can only mean one thing, and that's that they're going to load those B-61s on those F-35s and use them as mini stealth bombers in the event of some kind of attack on NATO or some kind of an escalation in Ukraine. Possibly, if Putin uses nukes on Ukraine, maybe they're going to use those F-35s to annihilate the Russian forces in Ukraine. Each one of those F-35s can carry a B-61 nuclear gravity bomb, which has a yield of up to half a megaton, almost 400 plus kilotons, which is massive. I mean, that's like 150 times more powerful than the Hiroshima bomb. And they have 50 F 35s. They could put one on each one of those F 35s, and that basically turns the F 35 into a mini stealth bomber that can then penetrate Russian airspace or penetrate defended airspace, such as the occupied territories in Ukraine, and deliver those B-61s, which are also steered by fins. Okay, they're not just dummy gravity bombs. They can be steered pretty accurately to a target using a guidance system. Okay, so this is pretty concerning. All this escalation in recent weeks. Russia deploying their massive first strike weapon, the RS-28 Sarmat, which is a liquid-fueled, three-stage, ultra heavy ICBM, and because it's liquid fueled and ultra heavy and silo based, that means that it's a first strike weapon. Okay, it's not a retaliatory weapon. It's not a second strike weapon. It's a preemptive strike weapon. It's a one and done weapon because it's liquid fueled. Okay, so very concerning stuff, guys. And then the U.S. testing a Minuteman III with 3 reentry vehicles the other day. They're only supposed to have 1. Now they're putting 3 on them because Putin pulled out of the New START treaty, which was a stupid treaty to begin with anyway. I'm concerned that as this war goes on, Putin is going to be more and more tempted to use tactical nuclear weapons, and the Russian ruble is continuing to crash. Here we have the Russian ruble for the past week, and you can see it's continuing to just gradually slide down. Every single week, it's just gradually sliding down. Here's the past month, and you can see in mid-August when they cut the rates, or they raised the rates. I'm sorry, they raised the interest rates by 3.5%, and you can see it jumped up here. But after it jumped up, it's just been steadily going down, 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 with no sign of any increase anytime soon. And if we look in the past year, you can see in the past year it's just continuing to slide down. And if we look at the past 5 years, you can see that it's the lowest, basically the lowest in 5 years, and almost as low as when the invasion started. Okay, so Russia is really hurting economically, and as Putin starts to feel that economic squeeze, and as he starts to run out of missiles, he's going to be tempted for a quick solution. Okay, and that's when things can really get concerning. I know a lot of you guys think, oh, Putin would never do that. You know, Well, a lot of people were saying the same thing when Russia was moving 300,000 troops to the border of Ukraine. And I was one of the few people on YouTube warning you guys that Russia was about to invade Ukraine and there was going to be a big war. And everybody said I was being an alarmist, and everybody said that, it's just another one of my fake predictions or whatever. And I was right, okay? And I'm telling you guys, Putin is being pushed into a corner here. If we give those Atacms, if the ruble continues to slide, if Ukraine continues to take more of the occupied territory back, which they're making some new gains now near the Donetsk International Airport. They just took another village, like right outside of the Donetsk International Airport. They're within, just a few miles of the Donetsk Airport. If they retake that airport, that's going to be a massive strategic loss for Russia and for all the Donbass war. All the Donbass militants were fighting so hard against Ukraine to take that airport, and now Ukraine is on the verge of taking it back, and they're continuing to make gains in Robotine, and that's that critical area where Ukraine wants to split the land bridge. Um, we also have some major breaking news coming from Russia. Russia is saying that they have information that Ukraine may try to blow up one of the Turkish pipelines in the Black Sea. Okay. So I don't know what to believe about that, but that's what Russia is saying. Here we have some new video footage coming out of Ukraine showing M1 Abrams arriving in Ukraine. And I can't verify where exactly this video came from, but this appears to be recent footage. Okay, a bunch of M1 Abrams arriving in Ukraine. Okay, so very, very interesting. And you can see they have the olive drab paint on them. So that's how we know that this is in Ukraine. You can tell by the old communist blocks in the background. Okay, a massive amount of M1 Abrams on this train. So this could be that first batch of M1 Abrams that Ukraine was supposed to receive. Let me just show you guys what I was talking about here in Ukraine in the Donetsk Airport. So let me show you guys what I was talking about with the Donetsk International Airport. So here's Donetsk, and here's the airport. And look at how close Ukrainians are to the Donetsk Airport. I mean, they are literally like actually 1 mile, maybe no, more like 3 miles from the Donetsk Airport. Okay, they just took this town here, Opitne, this blue area here. They took Opitne, and they have Vodiane surrounded. Okay, I don't know if I'm saying that right. I'm sorry if, and to any Ukrainians watching this, I'm trying to say it as best as possible. I'm trying to say it as best as possible, but they do have Vodiane surrounded here. So I suspect that they're going to probably take Vodiane and then Opitne, and then they may go for that airport. Once they take this airport, they're going to easily be able to push eventually the Russians out of even Donetsk. Okay, and that was a huge victory for the Donbass militias, the pro-Russian separatists here in eastern Ukraine. That when they took that airport, that was like a huge victory for them. And if Ukraine takes it back from Russia, that's going to be a massive blow to their morale. And I think they're going to do it. It's going to happen slowly, but they're going to do it. Let me show you guys what's happening here in the critical area of Robotine. This is that critical area of Zaporizhia where the Ukrainians are trying to split this land bridge and cut off the Russian forces here. You can see this pocket is quite large. Okay, look at this, and let me show you the updates on the map here. So here we have yesterday, the 8th, and then if we go to the 7th, you can see how they pushed further into Robotine or beyond it. Okay, here's the 8th, here's the 7th. Okay, so you can see a significant move. Okay, so Ukraine is making small gains here and there, and they just got those depleted uranium shells. They're supposed to get them. They're going to be getting M1 Abrams soon. Their pilots are getting trained on F-16s. They're doing joint exercises with NATO. So things are going to get crazy here, guys. Okay, and I would not be surprised if Putin does something very drastic soon. All right, it may not happen tomorrow. It could happen in a month or two. I don't know, but I just want to warn you guys. And here's those pipelines in the Black Sea that Russia is saying that Ukraine is going to try to destroy. They have the Turk Stream and the Blue Stream pipeline that connects Russia to Turkey, and they're going to try to take those out, apparently, according to Russia, which I'm not sure I believe because Turkey has helped Ukraine a lot. Turkey has, been like the number one proponent of the grain deal, and they've also helped a lot with the drones. I want to just show you guys some flight paths. We had a nuclear war command and control plane in the air overnight last night. An E-6 Mercury was out at sea off the coast of Virginia Beach, and it landed in Patuxent River. So that's another nuclear warplane in the air. And we had an F-16 flying along the Bulgarian-Romanian border, and it was just doing these circles here. It's a Romanian F-16, and they're going to be doing those drills this coming Monday through Friday along the Danube Delta. After that drone crashed in Romania, there's going to be massive drills with the U.S., Ukraine, Romania, Bulgaria, Turkey, a bunch of other countries. And here we have a Russian Special Flight Squadron plane that left Mozambique overnight, which is very, very interesting. And here we have some of the latest models for Hurricane Lee. So, what's interesting about these models is they have this thing as a 168 knot hurricane out here off the coast of North Carolina. 168 knots, guys. That's about 180 miles per hour. Okay, the GFS has it as a 168 knot hurricane out here, but a lot of these reliable models are having it going basically directly north towards Cape Cod area and Maine. So, this area might get hit hard from New Jersey to Nova Scotia, could get hit hard by this hurricane. And it did weaken overnight. It's down to 115 miles per hour sustained winds, and it's going to stay weak for a little while, but then it's going to re-strengthen and get stronger again soon. And here's the latest satellite loop. You can see it kind of lost that classic hurricane look. It lost its eye, but it's starting to regain it again. You can see the density here of those clouds. And I want to just show you guys that buoy. I want to show you the significant wave heights. They've really ticked up. They're up to about 18 feet as of 12:40 a.m. Okay, so just a day or two ago, they were down to like 7 or 8 feet. All right, yeah, actually, yesterday afternoon they were at like 7 or 8 feet. Now they're up to like 17 to 18 feet for the significant wave height. So those are 18-foot waves, guys, out in the ocean, and that's nothing. But this buoy is going to take a direct hit from this storm, so I think we're going to see significant waves go up to like 40 feet in the coming day or two. And just wanted to show you guys that. We also have some interesting information coming out of Armenia. Armenia has turned its back on Russia. Apparently, the Armenian prime minister's wife made a visit to Ukraine and pledged for humanitarian aid to Ukraine. Armenia also eliminated its neutrality policy on the Ukrainian war. It's no longer neutral. And the prime minister of Armenia, Nikol Pashinyan, said in an interview that Armenia's policy of relying on Russia to guarantee its security was a strategic mistake. He said Moscow, distracted by its war with Ukraine, has been unable to deliver and was winding down its role in the South Caucasus. So basically, Armenia and Russia, they have an agreement, and Russia has like 2,000 peacekeepers in Armenia. And so the Armenian prime minister is complaining that Russia is not backing them up against Azerbaijan, and Armenia is thinking about leaving the CSTO, which is like the Russian NATO. So very interesting situation there in Armenia, and it just shows how Russia's grip is slowly weakening in multiple areas. And now is the time when Putin is extremely dangerous. Okay, he's losing grip. He's no longer in control of all these areas. He's losing grip in the South Caucasus. He's losing grip in Ukraine. He's losing grip on his own people. There was that big uprising against him with Prigozhin, and he got so freaked out that he had to order a hit on Prigozhin because he was afraid that, he might be, taken out by some kind of uprising against him. So he took Prigozhin out before that could happen. So he's a desperate man. All right, the ruble is crashing. Ukraine is nibbling away at any gains he made in Ukraine. And as time goes on, Ukraine is going to continue to nibble away. But, we have to be prepared. Okay. Things can get really crazy soon. So get prepared physically, spiritually, mentally. Have a nuclear war survival plan. Have a bug out bag packed and ready to go. Stay in shape, stay healthy. That's one of the most important preps is staying healthy and being physically fit. You don't have to be a world class athlete, but just be able to run a little bit. You should be able to run a mile without dropping dead. Okay. You should be able to run a mile with a 20-pound pack without dropping dead. Okay. You should be able to do at least 10 or 20 push ups. Okay. Um, and so just focus on some of those basic things, have a nuclear war survival plan. And also, the most important prep is your relationship with Jesus Christ. But that's pretty much it, guys. I'll keep you updated. Take care. God bless. And don't forget the 3 Ps: prepare, practice, and persevere.